It happened in the morning, early in the morning at 8. So either people were at home or commuting, going to work. So as in earthquakes are very common in Taiwan, but of course today's earthquake was very different in a way that the intensity was higher, the duration was longer. And of course, we have seen the visuals. It's pretty scary, specifically from places like Hualien, Taitung, but not so much in Taipei. Of course, the intensity was definitely very, very strong, but we didn't really see the impact as much as we are seeing the visuals from Hualien. So definitely, when it happened in the morning, people were definitely a little scared. There was an atmosphere of fear, but then despite that, I think that people are quite used to earthquakes and people are very resilient. So no matter what happens, people here remain calm. So I think that was the thing that we also experienced when the earthquake hit in the morning. So authorities are very swift because, as I've already mentioned, that it's pretty common here to have earthquakes. So then the administration was very swift in the morning. They established a committee. They started assessing the damage and potential damage, the loss of lives. So now I think the details are coming out now. There was landslide. Some of the buildings have tilted. So of course there might be people that will be that are still that are stuck within the beneath the building. But then I feel that the authorities have been pretty swift in responding to it. The electricity was gone for a few hours in some areas, not entirely, but then the electricity has come back. The metro, the high-speed train, everything has been resumed. So services are resumed. So I think life is pretty much back to normal where there is no damage, specifically at places such as Taipei. But definitely the authorities are working in areas such as Hualien where there is damage, where there are loss of lives, and assessing what could be done, what kind of services they could provide to people. So definitely I'm seeing that the accountability and the level of support is pretty much there, is very high in Taiwan. I think we are experiencing aftershocks since morning, and according to news or even our own experience, now I think now it's for us, we are not sure if they're actually aftershocks or we are just feeling dizzy. But definitely there are aftershocks, they're very strong aftershocks, and I'm also reading in the news that we might also see and experience aftershocks with greater intensity in the coming days. So I think the government is definitely preparing for it, and people are also prepared that this might also happen. They're not supposed to be scared, and there's a lot of awareness that is being spread right now. The WhatsApp groups are activated, even the internet. The government is being very, very active in disseminating information, and not just the Taiwanese government. Even the Indian office in Taiwan is very active, and they're also been in touch with the Indians in Taiwan. They have issued an advisory. So definitely I'm seeing a lot of effort, a lot of messages that have been disseminated since morning, and it's just been 4 hours, over 4 hours. Actually, before this, we generally receive a message before any natural calamity happens, and even before earthquake as well, just a few seconds before. But this time, a lot of people didn't receive it. So a lot of people are asking questions about the effectiveness of such alerts. So we are not seeing it yet, but of course there are casualties, sadly. But if you look at the intensity and the magnitude of the earthquake, I think the government was able to take more people out, and there was a swift response. So I feel that of course it's very sad that there are casualties. There's no substitute for lives, but I feel that the damage was definitely controlled. And of course, by the end of the day or in a few more days, perhaps we are going to see more numbers, but I feel that it's still very much under control. But in terms of advisory, definitely I think what the government is saying that and would say that do not go for hiking, because we saw a landslide as well in the morning. So definitely I think people have to be more vigilant on their own, and perhaps not go to the mountains as of now and see how it is going to be unfolded in the next few days. Not really, because I think this is a natural calamity. This is not something that is that people are worried about. People who have been living here, most of these people, Indian diaspora in Taiwan, they have been living here for years. So today's earthquake was the biggest and strongest in 25 years. So they've also seen what happened in 1999. So today's earthquake is also bringing back the memories of the 1999 Hualien earthquake and how over 2,500 people died during that time. So definitely if we look at it, as I've already mentioned, that there is not a lot of casualties compared to 1999. So that actually means that there was a lot of preparedness. and people are much more resilient than they were in 1999. So I do not, and even I feel that when Indians are living here, they also know what Taiwan is and what they're signing up for. So I do not really see any kind of fear or any uncomfortable messages or feelings that Indians are sending out as of now. And I feel this is a very standard message that has been sent out from India Taipei Association that actually means that that how under Modi administration they're also trying to reach out to Indian diaspora and how they're very concerned about the welfare of the Indian diaspora in other countries. So I feel that this is a very standard procedure that India Taipei Association is doing right now. Yeah, as in the buildings specifically in places like Hualien, if them as not as strong enough and if the buildings have already been tilted and there's something that there are some avenues that have been there. There are schools that could be used for such places. And of course, when you talk about Taiwan, we have air defense shelter here. So perhaps that could also be used. But definitely, yeah, then I don't think there's going to be anything that is going to hold the normal lives in Taiwan. But of course, Hualien is a different case altogether. But I think it's still too early. We still have to wait for some news and some announcement from the government to see what has been the extent of the damage in Hualien and what are the steps they're going to take.
Z News.